The galactic assembly hall hummed with the 1,000 different frequencies of alien speech. Alex Chen stood near the viewport, watching stars streak past as the diplomatic vessel Harmony's promise traversed the void between sectors. He'd been assigned as humanity's junior ambassador for exactly 3 months, and the novelty of working alongside dozens of alien species still hadn't worn off. "Human Alex," chirped Zixker, a mantis-like Vreen diplomat who served as the Assembly's protocol officer. His compound eyes refracted the starlight into kaleidoscopic patterns. "The recreational sparring exhibition begins in 1 cycle. Will your species be participating?" Alex shook his head. "I'm just an observer. We've only been part of the Assembly for 2 years, still learning the ropes." "A wise approach," Zixker clicked approvingly. "Many species send their warriors to demonstrate prowess. It builds understanding, they claim, though I suspect it's mostly posturing." What neither of them knew was that Jiggy Okonkwo had other plans. Jiggy had arrived on the Harmony's promise as part of the human security detail, a formality really, since the Assembly had enjoyed peace for 3 centuries. She was compact and muscular, with dark skin and hair pulled back in tight cornrows. Her personnel file listed her as former Marine Corps, with specializations that made even hardened veterans raise their eyebrows. But to the other species aboard the ship, she was just another human, soft-skinned, weak-boned from that strange little Deathworld called Earth. The exhibition hall had been transformed into an arena, padded floors, energy shields to protect spectators, medical stations at every corner. Alex found a seat in the upper galleries just as the first matches began. A Korthian heavyweight, 8 feet of scaled muscle, grappled with a Deneb warrior whose 4 arms moved in blurring combinations. The crowd chittered and hummed approval. Then came the Vraks, insectoid beings whose exoskeletons could shrug off impacts that would pulverize human bones. "Impressive," Alex murmured to himself, making mental notes for his report. Then came the announcement that changed everything. "Exhibition match," the translator chimed. "Contestant Jiggy, human female, versus champion Drakner, Korthian male." Alex's blood went cold. He leaned forward, gripping the railing. Down in the arena, Jiggy walked out in standard sparring gear, looking impossibly small next to the Korthian champion. Drakner was a mountain of crimson scales and corded muscle, his reputation built on 2 decades of never losing a match. The Korthian's translator boomed across the hall. "A human, the soft skin sent a female." Laughter rumbled from his chest. "I was told your species was weak, but this is insulting." Jiggy stretched her neck from side to side, completely unbothered. "Ready when you are, big guy." Alex wanted to shout to stop this, but the ceremonial gong had already sounded. Drakner moved with surprising speed for his size, closing the distance in 3 massive strides. His fist, larger than Jiggy's head, swung in a devastating arc designed to end the match immediately. In Korthian culture, a quick victory showed mercy. Jiggy wasn't there. She'd shifted her weight, letting the blow whistle past her ear with inches to spare. Before Drakner could reset, she'd stepped inside his guard and drove her elbow into the soft scales beneath his ribcage. The impact made a sound like a hammer hitting wet leather. The Korthian's eyes widened. Pain was not something he'd expected. What he began, but Jiggy was already moving. Years of training had taught her that size and strength meant nothing if you controlled the angles. She grabbed Drakner's extended arm, used his own momentum against him, and sent all 8 feet of alien warrior stumbling forward. A sweep of her leg at exactly the right moment, and suddenly the champion was airborne. The arena shook when he landed. The crowd fell silent. In 300 years of assembly peace, they'd seen countless exhibitions, but they'd never seen anything like this. Drakner roared not in pain but in rage. He surged to his feet, scales flushed darker with battle fury. "Lucky," he snarled. "I was holding back." "Then don't," Jiggy replied calmly, settling back into her stance. What happened next would be studied in assembly combat academies for generations. Drakner abandoned technique for raw power. He became a storm of claws and muscle, each strike capable of shattering steel. And Jiggy met him with something the aliens had never witnessed before, earth-refined combat artistry born from thousands of years of humans fighting humans. She slipped punches by millimeters, redirected strikes that would have broken her bones, used every principle of leverage, timing, and anatomical weak points that humanity had learned in its bloody climb to civilization. The Korthian was stronger, tougher, more durable. But Jiggy was human, and humans had evolved on a death world where everything, predators, whether even the microbes, tried to kill them. Humans had learned to be efficient, adaptable, creative. They'd learned that survival meant using every advantage, no matter how small. A jab to the nerve cluster in Drachner's shoulder made his right arm go numb. A knee strike to the joint in his leg compromised his stance. Each movement precise, economical, devastating. The Korthian champion, undefeated in 2 decades, found himself unable to land a single clean hit. Alex watched in stunned silence as Jiggy systematically dismantled her opponent. Around him, alien dignitaries leaned forward, their various sensory organs focused entirely on the impossible scene below. How, Zixker whispered, she's half his mass. Her bones should shatter from blocking his strikes. She's not blocking, Alex realized. She's not there when the strikes arrive. It ended with Drachner on his knees, gasping for breath, one arm hanging useless and both legs trembling with exhaustion. Jiggy stood 3 feet away, barely winded, waiting to see if he'd continue. The Korthian looked up at her and something shifted in his eyes. Recognition, perhaps, respect, certainly. Yield, he rumbled, then louder for the crowd, I yield. The silence broke, the arena erupted in a cacophony of alien sounds, shock, excitement, disbelief. Some species were already transmitting recordings across the galaxy. In the medical station afterward, as alien physicians tended to Drachner's bruises, the Korthian champion asked to speak with Jiggy. Your world, he said carefully, they call it a Deathworld, Class 12 hazard rating. I thought this was exaggeration. Jiggy shrugged, accepting a water bottle from a human aide. Earth's rough, makes you tough or kills you, we got tough. Your gravity is 60% higher than standard. Yup. Your atmosphere is corrosive to most species. We noticed. Your planet has multiple apex predators that hunt in packs. Had we're the only apex predator now. Jiggy's smile was friendly, but there was something ancient in it. We outcompeted the rest. Drachner was quiet for a long moment. I underestimated you because you seemed weak, small, fragile. We are fragile, Jiggy agreed. That's why we learned to be dangerous. By the time the Harmony's promise reached its destination, everything had changed. The video of the match had spread through every corner of assembly space. Suddenly, the soft-skinned humans from that little blue Deathworld weren't a joke anymore. Alien military academies requested human combat instructors. Xenobiologists began serious studies of human physiological advantages they dismissed as irrelevant. The Korthian Warrior Council sent an official request for an exchange program. Alex sat in his quarters reviewing the diplomatic implications. His pad was filled with meeting requests, policy proposals, research collaborations. In a single afternoon, humanity's position in the Galactic Assembly had fundamentally shifted. A knock at his door, Jiggy stood there, still in her workout gear. Did I mess up? She asked. The senior ambassador looked stressed. Alex laughed, he couldn't help it. Mess up, Jiggy, you just changed galactic politics. They thought we were weak, now they know better. I just did what I was trained to do. Exactly, Alex pulled up a star chart showing Earth's location. That's what they don't understand yet. Every human has training. We all grew up under gravity that would crush most of them. We all evolved with nervous systems designed to track predators. We all learned to be dangerous because our world demanded it. Jiggy looked at the chart thoughtfully. So what happens now? Now, Alex smiled. Now they stop underestimating Deathworld girls and boys and everyone else from Earth. The Harmony's promise sailed on through the stars, carrying its human passengers toward a future the Galactic Assembly was only beginning to understand. They'd invited humanity to join as a curiosity, a novelty from a brutal little planet. What they got was a species forged in fire, shaped by relentless pressure, and utterly unwilling to be dismissed. Drachner had learned that lesson the hard way. The rest of the galaxy was about to learn it too. And the